next presentation is presented by Onsen4Tamago from Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University. If you're ready, please start.
Greetings, Kobe City. How are you doing today? The team Onsen4Tamago from Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University, and today we're here to present our strategy titled Beyond the Sea, crafting Bobo Kobe's next experience. Our goal for today is to transform Bobo Kobe from just a beautiful cruise into something that's truly extraordinary. But during our research, we noticed three critical gaps. First, families lack interactive experiences. Second, couples need stronger romantic bonding moments. And finally, tourists need something iconic to remember Kobe and also visit there. Therefore, a key question for today's case is, how can we increase the number of passengers on board Bobo Kobe while also strengthening the connection between the land, the sea, and the port? Thus, our strategy very aptly lies in the SEA or the Sea strategy, where S stands for signature experiences, E stands for engagement for all ages, and A is to ensure attractive multi-sensory branding. The impact is something that we'll delve into and you will realize once we go through our slides. But everything has a history, and Bobo Kobe is a very good product of Hayakoma's centuries-old maritime experience. It has truly shaped Kobe Port into what it is today. And therefore, as we proceed throughout this presentation, we need to ensure that we keep in mind honoring the historical heritage while also aligning it with the modern-day tourism trends. Let's take a look at Bobo Kobe today. It truly stands out in the accessibility and family-friendly segment, and it's also a very unique way to experience the lovely city of Kobe. However, if we take a look at industry trends, we see that the cruise tourism industry is trying to shift towards shorter and more thematic experiences. However, the competitors are focusing mainly on fine dining, and thus this leaves a huge opportunity open for Bobo Kobe. We must build something so unique that our competitors have a tough time catching up. They will eventually, but they'll still be copying us. So we have the space to be iconic through UTC as well, which is very important for Bobo Kobe's marketing. But Rosha, tell us, how can customers, or the passengers in this case, change the landscape?
We have identified 5 core groups: families, couples, tourists, students, and pet owners. Each of these groups wants something slightly different, but everyone wants their experiences to be meaningful, memorable, and multi-sensory. And yet, once we look deeper, one surprising insight emerged. Bobo Kobe, despite serving many demographics, had experienced a 23% customer decline in recent years. But more importantly, Bobo Kobe is missing out on Japan's fastest growing and most loyal target market, seniors. Seniors represent a large number of Kobe's population, and they spend far more than any other age group. This gives us a big opportunity. So Kat, lead us to the C strategy.
Thank you, Rasha. Our C strategy has 3 recommendations that target 3 specific segments: Bo-Ben for families and tourists, Bo-Bliss for couples, and Bo-Ba-chan for senior travelers. But let's start with our first anchor experience. And before I go even further, let me ask the room one question. Who in this room has ever had an ekiden on a Shinkansen or on the way to a Shinkansen?
Yeah.
I know I have. And it was on a trip to Kobe as well. And it made my experience that much more special. This is what inspired us to create Bobo Kobe already has a cafe on board. However, its current gaps limit its potential. There's a lack of signature hero item, limited storytelling, and low SNS appeal. So we created Bobo that transforms food into a 5-sense experience that you can remember both in your tongue and in your heart forever. Within our pilot, we have 3 signature bentos for now, but we also propose the addition of a Hyogo sake tasting flight for all the adults on board to add a little bit of that extra fun. Overall, the strategy elevates onboard revenue and strengthens Bobo Kobe's identity with Kobe's food and memory association. So Now that everyone's tummies are full and their palates satisfied, Rosha, how does our strategy tackle the heart of this cruise? Couples.
When we observed the cruise, we noticed a lack of romantic space for couples. No dedicated seating, and underused sunset moments. This gave us a chance to introduce Boat Bliss, a low-price, high-impact romantic date experience. We proposed a cozy gazebo facing the Kobe skyline, a Boat Bliss date set with drinks or dessert, and a special photo session with staff assistance. This gives us the time-proof idea for the next strategy.
Seniors often feel outsider of the cruise. They want dignity, comfort, gentle activity, and opportunity to socialize. So we create Bobajan, which is senior-first cruise that align with core, care, calmness, and community. This includes soft texture bento, sunset serenity deck, care awareness, cruise guidance, and cultural touchpoint, gentle activities. To scale this segment, we also introduce senior group senior tour, collaborate with local lodging home, senior club, and travel agency. It's not only profitable, but also
a very important part to add to Japan's silver-based tourism. And as a Japanese Koryu, you can add insight onto us. Because as foreigners, when we come here, we realize there's a huge potential for silver tourism. And therefore, this idea will definitely have potential, especially in the cruise industry. Now moving on, every marketing strategy should start from the basics. And we start from the 4P. That is product, price, place, and promotion. All of this together will lead to an enhanced experience. But these are basics and our ideas might not be, so let's take you straight up there. The first idea is rooted in the pillars of social media and storytelling together. When people think of Bobo Kobe, we want them to have an image in their head and not just think of taglines or what they have heard from someone else. Therefore, we plan on using travel magazines, user-generated content, as well as influencer collaborations. All of these sound very basic, we know that. But the three of them combined have a huge potential. And used across the social media platforms that are famous and popular, not just in Japan, but also globally, we get a huge amount of monthly active users. We also plan to use the hashtag of Let's Go Bobo, so that we can track active user metrics and also use it to see which social media should Bobo Kobe actually invest in rather than spreading its wings everywhere. Now, in social media, it is very crucial to remain inclusive and also give back to the community. So we want to make sure that it is accessible by providing multilingual support, international payments, all-time help and contact, and to create an impact that's memorable and always at the top of your mind. So when you think of Kobe, you say, Bobo Kobe! And now the second strategy is something that Japan is famous for, and we as foreigners, half the team is foreigners, we love mascots. Bobo Kobe has a teddy bear, but it's not a mascot. Everyone has teddy bears. Bobo Kobe should have something that's related to the sea. And we also proposed a partnership with the Kobe City travel mascot. Now together, this fun duo will do fun activities, and we also made a mini manga booklet that you can scan at the end and read as a surprise. But for now, it will have a social media presence, it will have mascot boarding events to increase participation, and also have a sticker and stamp collection to add on to the existing merchandise. All of this co-creates a very tangible marketing experience, which sets us apart in a very crowded space. Now, to increase usage rate among tourists, as foreigners ourselves, the #1 issue that we noticed is that there needs to be more multilingual support, and not just in English. We need to have a shift from bilingual to multilingual, and Bobo Kobe should be the first ones in Kobe City to do that. We also should provide a Japanese cuisine guide because we are suggesting a special variety of bentos and already adding to the pre-existing cafe. So that would help Bobo Kobe greatly. But now, how many of you are excited to go aboard Bobo Kobe after listening to our plans? Okay, if we haven't convinced you yet, please wait. We have 2 customer journeys to lead you to the visuals.
For families, the journey begins when children see Bobo Kobe on their parents' Instagram and say, "Oh, I want to go." On the board, they will get mission card and begin role-play mission while parents taking a rest with ocean view. They will enjoy their bento and capture photo, complete mission, and leave with printed memory and return discount. This creates full cycle and enjoyable memories that make family want to repeat it again.
For elders, the journey starts at the community center or elderly care home when they receive a good tour. They receive on-board priority, warm seats, comfortable seats with warm tea and soft texture bentos. This increases the memory for a special return package, which Kat will explain forward.
So, how do we implement this strategy? Our C strategy will be implemented in phases across our timeline. In the first 2 years, we will be focusing on planning, initiating, and research and development, as well as our SNS relaunch, before our strategies scale across the years 3 and 4, as we also cater and adjust to customer preferences, ensuring that our actions stay most closely aligned to our customers. All in all, this strategy is an investment of 3.2 million yen, which is extremely feasible, as it is less than 5% of Bobo Kobe's 2025 annual projected revenue. It will result in a passenger growth of 16% on average year by year, resulting in double the amount by the end of the 5th year, which is benchmarked by other case studies, which showed similar growth after implementing thematic experiences. This in turn increases revenue to over 200 million yen and a return on investment of over 60 times, which is driven both by ticket sales and onboard spending. So, with such an ambitious plan, there's gotta be risks somewhere. So Rosha, how do we mitigate the risks that we see on the horizon?
We have created detailed mitigations plan for operational overload, weather, LED safety, marketing penetration, and cost overruns. These include indoor fallback areas, non-slip flooring, diversifying marketing, and phased build-outs. Now, to explain, every cruise has a backstory and is made up of a large number of interconnected stakeholders. Once we have identified our stakeholders, we need to ensure that the front-end, back-end, and system operations are all in sync, so they can come together as a one complete model. For information and promotion exchange across our key stakeholders, we suggest potential partnerships with travel agencies and hotels such as JTB, Cloak, or Anacron Plaza. This will pull in more traffic, stronger visibility, and higher walk-in bookings.
Our SES strategy has 3 big wins. First, top of mind awareness. Second, revenue and ridership growth. And finally, community empowerment. It also supports SDGs number 8, 12, 3, and 17.
And in the end, we have a visual element of surprise for you. While you scan this QR code and enjoy your manga, let us tell you that we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for setting sail with us today. As we try to become one large family with Bobo Kobe, we want to include not just families, not just pets, not just youngsters, but also the seniors and the foreigners to come abroad on one long journey of recreating and crafting Bobo Kobe's next journey. This was Team Onsen4Tamago. See more, feel more. Bobo Kobe!
Thank you for your presentations. Now we will have questions from the judges. Judges, please.
Thank you for the attractive presentation. But honestly, I just got confused. Who are your target customers? You're saying you're targeting people of all ages, which could mean you're targeting nobody.
Yes, thank you so much. We didn't mean to create the confusion, but we realized that we need to target the untouched segment, seniors, because Bobo Kobe already targets all the other segments. And that's because they already have activities for kids, they already have activities for youngsters, and they already cater very well to families and to pets. Therefore, for this one, our primary target is going to be 60% for seniors, and also for couples, 40%, because youngsters are already a huge part of their customer segment.
If I may add, within our research itself, we discovered actually that seniors over 60 years old make up 23% of incoming visitors to Kobe, which is why we felt that this segment had such a big opportunity and yet was underserved in the current landscape. Thank you very much for your question.
And you think this is a good strategy?
The senior segment? Yes, as foreigners and tourists, we think that Japan has a huge silver tourism market because it has an aging population and we must cater to it instead of ignoring it.
Not only do they come, they spend a lot, over 7.5 trillion yen a year on leisure alone, which is an insanely huge opportunity, which is why we believe that targeting seniors would allow Bobo Kobe to differentiate itself from other cruises as its competitors as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I have two quick questions. The first question is, again, about the boarding ticket price. How much do you charge for the seniors? That's the first question. Second question is about the cost of the extra staffs. Assuming that, the bachan may need some extra support in terms of the safety on board, not on the ground in the restaurant, do you calculate any extra cost for the extra personnel on board?
Thank you so much. I can take the first and you can add on to the second. So for your first question regarding the ticket cost, we plan on keeping it the same for now because we're planning a collaboration with JTB and basically hotels and travel agents. So we assume that Hayakoma will spend a significant amount in that partnership. Therefore, the ticket price will remain the same, but we will have some sort of partnership and that will be added onto the cost. And you can take the second one.
Additionally, regarding the cost of specifically trained staff on cruise, we have added that into account with the operational costs added by the SCA on top of the normal operational costs within our revenue projections. For this, we are aware that in every cruise, staffs are already trained in first aid members. However, the extra budget is allocated for them to spend training for elderly specific budget as well. So yes, it has been allocated and within our projection. Thank you.
Okay, how much actually the budget is? I can't really see the number. Which one is the extra budget?
Kat, you can go to the...
How much is it?
So the capital expenditure, the initial investment is 3.2, but the operational cost addition is 2.25 million yen.
Okay, all right.
Overall.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Really interesting presentation. I love the Boben, the Bo-chan, Bo-ba-chan, but don't forget about us Bo-ji-chan. One question I want to ask is about the romantic aspects that you focus on, which is a good idea, but does this really align with senior citizens who may not be so interested in a heavily romantic cruise with their partners? Of course, there's exceptions, but generally speaking.
17, yes, Kat. Thank you so much for your question. We kept that into account and we asked him, because he's Japanese, would you take your girlfriend and you would see your grandmother on the same cruise? And he said, no. And then we realized that the on-deck space where we can build a gazebo on Bobo Kobe is limited. So we plan on having just one, maybe in the side, not taking up too much of the deck space, where the couples can enjoy their private moment. And for the Oji-san and Oba-sans, there's going to be the rest of the deck as well. Also, I think a very crucial thing to remember is because we're going to have a partnership with the travel agents and the hotels, they're not going to come every day, but it's more sort of going to be monthly or seasonal, depending on when they can travel there. So when they have that, we might close the gazebo just for a day or two to balance our operations. Thank you so much. Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much for